Hello and welcome to Staying Ahead of the Curve. I'm Jeff Snyder, Vice President and Senior Consultant with Camac Retirement Group, coming to you live from Washington, D.C. at the Center for State and Local Government Excellence Retirement Insecurity Summit. And now I'm joined by Keith Brainard. He is a Research Director for the National Association of State Retirement Administrators. Keith, thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you.
And it's amazing that I actually could get all those acronyms out in one time without any do-overs.
First take.
It's amazing. So, you and I know each other. We've had you on the show before. We've talked a lot at NASRA a couple years ago about what was going on. And you're here at the summit kind of sharing your insights about what's going on at state and local government. So I'm wondering if you could preview some of your remarks that you're going to be making a little bit later.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about it. The focus of my remarks is going to be how retirement benefits are changing for new hires into state and local government. State and local government employs more than 10% of the nation's workforce, so this is a consequential matter. And what we're finding is that retirement benefits are changing for employees of state and local government. They're certainly not going away, but in contrast to a generation ago where the prevailing model for just about everybody who came to work for state and local government, whether they're a school teacher, a firefighter, police officer, general state employee, what have you, they had a traditional pension plan where all of the risk was borne by the employer. And that's what's really changing now, is that by and large there still are retirement benefits and mostly pension plans, but those pension plans have become a little more flexible, and the employees now are taking on more of the risk. They are owning more of the investment risk, so that their benefit is somewhat affected by how the investments perform. They're taking on more of the mortality risk, which means how long they live, so they have to bear some of that responsibility. They're taking on some of the inflation risk. So that'll be the focus of my comments, is how the retirement landscape for employees of state and local government is changing.
I think, I've done, following our interview, I did some roadshows with your colleague Alex Brown, and we talked about some of these issues, some of the funded status. And I think that's what really gets picked up in the headlines. And I think it's really unfortunate that people tend to focus on one program or one system and rather look at the bigger picture. And the strength and the backbone of what that defined benefit program is. And that it can, we were just talking with Rob Wiley, that you can have a DB plan, you can have a defined contribution plan, you can have Social Security, you can have personal savings, and these things can all kind of coexist together. It's not one solution, one size fits all. And I think that's kind of the theme that I think is important for the audience to kind of take light.
Yeah, that's a great point. And this is retirement benefits for employees of state and local government is a perfect example of the old laboratories of democracy adage or analogy. We've got 50 states, thousands, literally thousands of public retirement systems serving millions of public employees, and there's a lot of experimentation going on. And there's a lot of opportunity to learn about what works better in some places than others.
Yeah, it's not a one-size-fits-all. And we're, Lisa Messina from the state of Oregon is going to be joining us about Oregon Saves. I think one of the things that I've been contemplating and thinking about when I'm doing the show or when I'm on national TV, if we move to an all-DC system or we start making these changes, what that means to hiring governmental employees. Because a lot of people may come, they want this benefit, they kind of trade the higher compensation in one way for the retirement benefit in the future. And moving to an all-DC system as an example, and we've seen this in some areas around the country where new employees are kind of pushed into that DC model, could very well change the complexion of how citizens at all levels work with their government. And I think that's something that needs to be contemplated as part of this broader conversation.
Yeah, I think one thing that we've learned, or should have learned, over the last generation is that by itself a defined contribution plan is a very unreliable vehicle for delivering retirement income. It works on paper. In reality, it usually does not work, or does not work for many. And the one redeeming virtue of a defined contribution plan is that the employer knows for absolute certain what the cost of that plan is going to be. But something is lost. In fact, a lot is lost when you switch to a defined contribution plan only. And in particular, you're losing the ability or the competitiveness of employers to attract talent. And public employers are in the labor market. They're out there looking for talent, whether they're police officers, school teachers, finance professionals. They have to attract that talent.
Yeah, I think I look at what happened in the Southwest United States with a couple of pension programs, and I think about how do you attract, for example, police officers or firefighters who do very important duties, put their lives on the line, and incentivize them to come work, knowing that it's a very tenuous job, it's a hard job, it's a physical job, and you can't do it oftentimes till you're 65. You have to maybe move into a different type of job, maybe age 50. That it varies by location, and so I think your point is taken. I mean, we've got to figure out ways to. The importance of government is to deliver services to citizens, and those services vary by local, state, municipal government, right? They all are responsible for different aspects of delivering to the citizens. And, to change things wholeheartedly across the board could have a negative impact on some of those services. And I was joking a couple days ago with a colleague of mine. I don't know if you remember the original RoboCop. Remember RoboCop?
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Not Schwarzenegger, Peter Weller. And in that world, it was a kind of like a dystopian world. And they actually privatized the police force, and that's where RoboCop kind of came from. And I think that's extremist, right? We're not going to have a private company, at least in my view, to come and privatize. But I think that's extremist. I mean, you've got a government that's delivering services. These are important things that need to be kind of thought through and really contemplated as boards and committees and mayors and other city managers are thinking about this stuff.
Yeah, I think we need to remember that retirement benefits are part of are a human resources management tool. And that it's not pay alone that employees are looking for. They're looking for the whole package. They're looking for the workplace structure. They're looking for salary, long-term retirement security, health care, and so on. And retirement benefits are, of course, only one component of all of that. And if you fundamentally alter the retirement benefit equation, then something else is going to give, and the employees are going to be looking for something else.
Shifting gears real quick, you're the research director for the National Association of State Retirement Administrators. There, I got it again, one take. What other research can you share a little bit of other research that you're thinking about performing, you and Alex and the team?
Sure. Well, there's a fair bit of our research which we continuously update related to the costs of retirement benefits that are incurred by states and local governments, how much employees and employers both are contributing to those. We closely monitor actuarial assumptions like investment return assumptions, inflation, mortality, other elements of retirement plan design and financing that relate to how these big pension plans are administered. These are really, in many cases, massive pension plans. They don't turn around on a dime, and they rely on information to make good decisions. And we try to be on the cutting edge and provide the information that they need, these administrators that they need to run these big systems.
And having been at NASRA in August, your annual conference, you do a great job. So thank you to you, your team, Alex, and the NASRA team. And thank you for appearing today on Staying Ahead of the Curve.
Thank you.